Hey guys, so I know that I'm about 2 weeks late putting up this video, and I have reasons. Mostly those reasons center around the fact that I'm a busy college student and I have shit to do. Caleb was in town for his spring break, and so we did a lot of really exciting touristy stuff, so I have a lot of video of that eventually I want to put up, and so that is forthcoming. But for the time being, I want to talk about this weekend, because this weekend was just awesome, and I think it was mostly orchestrated by fate, because one of the great things that they do here in England is they offer free newspapers in the morning and in the evening on the tube and like underground and all that, and which is nice too, because it's not like I have a TV or can really watch the news. You know, I'm part of that generation where if we want to watch TV shows, we watch them on our computer on our own time, not when they air. But yeah, anyways, so where was I? Right, newspapers. So I almost didn't pick up Friday evening's paper. I was passing a stand, and just at the last minute I picked it up, and I was like, I'll just browse through it, glance through it. And there wasn't really anything super interesting in the paper, no super attention-grabbing stories. So I was kind of flipping through the paper a little faster than I usually do, just because nothing was catching my fancy. But anyway, so I got way further into the paper than I usually do by the time that I get home, by the end of my commute. So I got to the arts section, and I was reading, kind of skimming through some of the reviews, and then I saw a picture of Savion Glover, who you should know if you're a tap dancer, and if you're not a tap dancer, I'm pretty sure you know who he is anyways, because he was on Sesame Street, and he's incredible, and he's just, oh my god, he's kind of generally recognized these days as the greatest tap dancer in the world, and some people would say that he's the greatest living tap dancer in the world, and I definitely see some accuracy to either of those statements, mostly just because his teachers, his mentors, were some of the world's greatest tap dancers that came before him, the generation before him, and they're amazing and incredible, and they all have their own unique, fantastic styles, and it's always really, really interesting to see the way in which you can see who was mentors, who mentored what other dancer, what other tappers, and who was the protege of other tappers, based on the crossover of styles. And I'm totally getting off the point, but basically I could talk about tap for 3 weeks straight and not ever have to change the subject once. Yeah, anyways, he is incredible. Savion Glover is an incredible tap dancer, and one of the amazing things that he's done is he's made tap dance into almost a little bit more of an urban thing, and he's given it a little bit more of an urban style to it, but it still has this feeling of history and soul and culture behind it. It's so incredible, and here I am talking about it again, rambling on about it, and that's kind of what I literally just said I was gonna move on from. Anyways, so I saw this review. It was for Savion Glover's performance called Soul Sanctuary that he was going to be doing for, was it 4 evenings, 4 days here in London. And so this second that I got home, I put down the paper and I got on the internet and I bought myself a ticket, and it was the best purchase I think I've ever made. It was, so I went to Sunday's matinee performance, and oh my god, it was incredible. It was so good. It was 1 hour and 40 minutes of just solid rhythm. There was maybe a minute and a half total of just space that didn't have sound happening, and it was so great. They were just like woodshedding. It was like a lot of improvography, and just, you know, there was a moment they were like challenging each other. I say they. It was Savion Glover and Marshall Davis Jr. and they were just like challenging each other, and there was this focus on like meditation in the show, and talking about like, not talking about, but like sort of flowing with the idea that, you know, you can be physically in the space making the movements that are making the sound, and you can be mentally somewhere else, or just be like sort of meditating through the tapping, meditating through the rhythm. And it was just, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. And I really want to make another video about like all the things that I have to say about tap, because there's a lot of them. It's probably gonna have to be like 5 or 50 videos. Because like I said, I could talk for like 3 weeks straight about tap, my love for it, my experience with it, the history of it. Just, I have a lot to say about it. Anyways, so it was just an incredible show. I cried like 3 times during the show. It was phenomenal. And I'd never gotten to see Savion Glover perform live before. I've gotten to meet and take workshops with and take classes with a handful of other like really amazing tap masters before, but never Savion Glover. And so that was incredible to be able to see him dancing live, doing those ridiculously crazy fast, like low cramp rolls that he does, that it just sounds, oh my god, I can't even, it's like if you could make footsteps boil. That kind of sounds bizarre and abstract and maybe a little stupid, but that's just the way he does his cramp rolls, so fast and so just like smooth. It's like watching footsteps boil. And I don't know if that makes any amount of sense to anyone. If it was going to, it'd probably be like another tap dancer, but okay, here I am rambling about it again. I do want to say one other thing, which is that after the performance, I was leaving the theater, I was walking outside, and these 2 people asked me to take a picture for them, which, you know, I did. And they sounded like they had American accents, and so, you know, I asked them if they were from the U.S., and they said yeah, and then of course asked me, you know, where I was from in the U.S., and I said, well, you know, I'm originally from Ohio. I've been living in Chicago for the last few years, though, for school, and the one guy was saying, oh, you know, you're from Ohio. You know, I grew up in Ohio. I went to Upper Arlington High School. I was like, you're kidding me. My dance studio that I grew up going to has their spring dance recitals at Upper Arlington High School every year, like in the Upper Arlington Theater every year. What? Yeah, I know where that is. And he was like, oh my god, it's like crazy small world. I was like, oh my god, I know, right? And I could make an entire video, like an entire like probably hour-long video on the way in which tap makes the world a smaller place, with it being, you know, a universal language, and just, I could seriously just go on about it for like all day long. But I want to make this video like under 10 minutes. That would be ideal. It might already be over that. I don't know. But anyways, so that was incredible. That was amazing. I will try to get a little bit more content up this week. We'll see. And I will definitely try to have next week's video out on time. And until then, I hope you have a great week, and I love you all. Tom, my lovelies. Okay, shit. I almost dropped the camera while trying to turn it off. Things are working awesome right now.